Welcome to the full review of the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. For some reason, my first impressions video got a bunch of hate because people were expecting a review, and I don't know if they're blind or what, but this is the review, guys. So no more hate. Let's start off with the look and feel. First off, this looks amazing, especially that display. No matter what you're looking at, it will look amazing, especially with that OLED display in the 120Hz. It just looks great. As for the feel, it does feel premium. The back and the sides are made of metal, and it feels like a nice polished metal or aluminum, and it feels very thin in the hand, which is nice. As for the specs, we have here the 256 gig version with 8 gigs of RAM. You can also get this with 128 gigs of storage and 6 gigs of RAM, and even 512 gigs. But for me personally, the 256 gigs of storage is perfect. No one needs more than 8 gigs of RAM anyway. Even with a tablet like this where you're gonna multitask, 8 gigs of RAM is still gonna be plenty. And we have the Snapdragon 865 Plus worldwide. We have here not the most exciting camera setup. We only have here 2 cameras, but I like that Samsung made one of them wide angle and the other is just a regular camera. Because holding a tablet this big, a wide angle does get more useful than a telephoto. And Dex wouldn't let me go to the wide angle camera, so we're here in the regular One UI version camera. As you can see, the setup looks much more familiar this way. And here's our wide angle camera. As you can see, it's very good. All right, let's take our first selfie, and then I'm gonna show you some sample pictures outside. We're facing video on the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, tops up at 4K 30 frames per second. They could have done 60, but I guess they didn't think much people would be filming video, and with that they'd be right. But if you wanted to, you could, and this is how the video looks like. Not that bad, especially since you get a giant viewfinder. But filming video with it just looks ridiculous. But yeah, let me know what you think. Front-facing video on the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, and this tops up at only 1080p. I guess that's enough for most people, including myself, because not much people are gonna be taking selfie videos and gonna be vlogging. But if you did want to vlog, then you could do it comfortably. You know, I'm not really holding the tablet that far away, something like a few inches. And I'm holding it pretty comfortably, like surprisingly comfortable. And you know, vlogging on this thing actually is quite nice since you can see yourself so well. And since the camera is on the top instead of the sides, you can comfortably hold it on the side of the device. You can comfortably switch hands like I'm doing as we speak. And yeah, vlogging on this thing is pretty surprisingly nice, even though no one's gonna do it. So as I said before, the display is great. It's beautiful, as to be expected from Samsung. Videos look great, content looks great, and the 120Hz, just look at that. Very smooth, helps a lot. Best part is we have 2K at 120Hz, something that the Note series and the S series does not have. The outdoor visibility is good as well. You're gonna see the display in direct sunlight. It also depends on the kind of content that you watch, but for the most part, you're gonna be able to watch videos outside and do whatever you want, even if you're under direct sunlight for some reason. Unlike Apple, Samsung provides us an S Pen right out of the box. And we have all the features that the S Pen has on the Note series. And drawing on the thing, as expected, is amazing. We don't have a slot for the S Pen because first of all, it's huge and the tablet is too thin. So now we connect it to the back, which I'm not really a fan of, but since I have the case that has this little compartment for it. As you can see, it's not going anywhere. If you bought this without the case, then you have to worry about it falling off because the magnet, it's not really the strongest. Like any little bump can get it off the tablet and you might get lost without the case, and that's why I recommend everyone getting this case keyboard combo from Samsung. It's just a must-have if you're gonna buy this thing. Now, the keyboard is quite nice. It feels just like a laptop keyboard. Keep in mind, if you live in a non-English speaking country, the keyboard might not come with the language your country speaks. I know mine didn't. So if that's important to you, you're gonna have to go with one of those ugly stickers that contain the language you want. Dex Mode is great. It's one of the main reasons I want to buy this tablet, because it looks just like a laptop. There's just some optimization issues. Applications won't go into full screen mode unless you tap something, which not much people are gonna know. When I first got the device, any app I opened, it was stuck in a window like this. Force activities to be resizable. So as soon as you tap that, you're gonna be able to make the windows bigger or smaller. If that doesn't work, hit me up in the comments. We'll try to solve this. Now, optimization, it's as far as Android can go. You know, Android being Android, it's always gonna be less optimized than Apple. That doesn't necessarily mean worse performance, but it does mean worse battery life for sure. Now, I don't use this like for hours and hours at a time, like I use my smartphone. I mainly just put it aside for most of the day and put it out when I need to look up a few things, or when I'm exercising and I want to watch Netflix for an hour. When I do those things, I can use it for days upon days without the battery running out. So as you can see, it's 53%. I charged it like 2 days ago. So, you know, very light usage, you know, not using it for the whole day, Netflix, all that stuff. You're not gonna be disappointed at all with the battery life, even if it's not as good as the iPads. No one can really compete with iPad, you know. Own software, own CPU. Like, multitasking is great. If you're in Dex Mode, any app you open starts off in a small window and you can drag them around and resize them to what you see fit. So you can be watching YouTube, you can browse the internet, or browse Discord and a few other apps all at the same time. It does get tricky and a bit of getting used to get the apps exactly how you want them, but it is possible and a great thing to do with this tablet. We have 4 speakers, 2 on each side, just like the iPads. These speakers are tuned by AKG and we have Dolby Atmos on board, like we do with our flagship Samsung phones as well. And these speakers are the best speakers I heard on any device, period. Check it out. Durability. Now, because this is a very thin device and we have a huge form factor, I wouldn't be surprised if I tried my very best, I could bend this thing in half. But that's pretty obvious, we all know that. But what about the glass itself? Well, we have Gorilla Glass free, which is very disappointing. And even though tablets are less likely to be dropped, it's not about how strong the glass is, it's how it handles scratches. And Gorilla Glass free is known to get scratched easily. Just take a look at this. I already have a scratch right over here. I'm gonna zoom in for you guys. If you can get a screen protector that doesn't compromise the way you use the device, then I would recommend doing that. Now, security. We have an in-display fingerprint sensor, but it is a bit tricky to use because usually when you can get an in-display fingerprint sensor on your phone, you're going to get in portrait mode. But here it's in landscape, so when you're setting it up, you're setting it up like this in landscape. Now, it doesn't matter how you set it up or how good you set it up, you're gonna have trouble unlocking the device through the fingerprint for the first few days. It takes some getting used to because it doesn't unlock when you use only the tip of your finger like you do with most phones. You have to really bring your finger up there so it's right in the middle, only then it's gonna unlock. But if you're still having problems, you can also use the face unlock, which is nice and snappy. Gaming on this device is great. Snapdragon 845 Plus really is fantastic. And now with Dex Mode, we have games like Asphalt 9 that support the Dex keyboard, so that means you can play using the arrow keys and the other keys the keyboard has, which I was surprised to learn at first, but more games need to support this because when they do, it'll be even more of a gaming beast for sure. But if not, you can always buy one of those remote controls and just use the kickstand, keep it upright. Okay guys, that is pretty much it. I've covered pretty much almost everything, but I know I missed a few more things. This tablet just has so many features, it's hard to cover everything. But I hope I covered the points that you cared about. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. If you have a certain question about the tablet, if it supports something, I'll try to help you guys. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.